Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the party. That's right. That's for you. That's for you. We got claps now. We got claps now. Yes, it is 7 o'clock on a Monday, and that could only mean one thing. It is time for some streaming. Welcome to the party, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just turn my phone on silent so you don't have to hear that. There's some business stuff happening in the background. Yes, yes, yes. We are killing it. If you are here hanging out live, thank you very much for being here. If you are not here live, you can join live next Monday, every Monday. Just choose a Monday, any Monday, 7 o'clock CET. I will be here with any luck. But yes, today we are going to, oh my gosh, I'm choking. We are going to be editing photos from yesterday's video. I drop a video every Sunday where I shoot a car, adventure, something fun, anything and everything. And this week's photos are going to be, well, let me change the camera, from the Panamera Turbo S that I borrowed this winter and shot at Nordafjell with all those crazy lights. Now, in the video that I released on Sunday, which was yesterday, we showed some of the editing. And in showing some of the editing, I don't think I want to go back over those exact photos, but I'm going to introduce you guys to some new photos. Finally caught the time to tune in. Sebastian, welcome to the party, man. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here. You're lucky enough to make it here live. Those who haven't made it live, join so you can talk to me through the chat, and I am responding to everything in the chat. So if you have some sweet stories you want to tell, if you want to criticize my editing, my photos, whatever, just hang out in the chat. So I'll show you the photos that we took and shared in yesterday's video. If you didn't get to see the video, you get to see a little bit of behind the scenes on how I edited this one, which was actually a distraction from the main photo. Prop 'em. That's a cool name. I like that name. I did it, made it here for once. Thank you for being here, Prop 'em. That's a cool name. I don't know if that's a name at all, but I like it. I think it's dope. And the main photo that we got to on yesterday's video was this one. It was a proof of concept. I explained it a lot in the video, but I'll explain it really quickly now. I bought these LED lamps, these things, and just wanted to test them. I wanted to take them for a test drive and take this Panamera Turbo S for a test drive, and it was an awesome time. Both me and Mats, my filmer, hung out until like 2 in the morning or something, shooting these photos. It was super late. We got a bit delayed because we got the car a little bit stuck. A little bit stuck. But we got the photos, and I'm super happy we did because they're pretty crazy. Now, the editing was a little bit complicated. We had to combine a lot of different photos. So stuff like this and this and this. I only had 5 of them. One of them was out of battery by the time we got there. Battery life on those things is terrible. It's trash. And we combined them all and got this photo. If you want to see how that was done, once again, you can check out the video. For now, I'm going to edit just some of these. Some of these cool little atmospheric shots. Let's start with this one. Let's start with a fun one. Let's start with a banger. Let's go with this one, because I haven't edited this yet. So let's see. Where are we at? What we shot at? This was 50mm f2.0, 1,600th of a second. There we go. This was shot at about 9 in the morning, something like that. Sunrise. It was very quiet. Everybody was going to work or whatever. And the clouds were laying super low over the fjord. So I went up on top of the mountain to Holmenkollen, found this view, parked the car, and took some photos. So let's start. Ladies and gentlemen, how's the stream doing? On my screen, it is struggling. I hope that is not the case. It is constantly loading. If it is not constantly loading for you, that'd be nice. Just let me know. Just let me know. And hopefully I can fix it pretty fast. Because that would suck if 4 minutes in we lost the stream entirely. But looks like we're still live on OBS. Music's still going. We're still here. Let's just keep moving. So, it's great. Problem. Thank you very much, man. On my screen, I wish I could show you it. It just, I'm getting... Sebastian, stream looks good. Thanks, guys. Yeah, my screen, it looks like it's dead. Getting the beach ball of death. But thank you, YouTube. Start by correcting the lens. Because it is a lens, you are never seeing the world exactly as it is. So we're going to correct some of those things. Now, this was shot backlit against a really bright background. So we're going to have a little bit of trouble trying to balance that out. Let's see what we can do. Step one, I think, is to save the sky until the point where the sun becomes messy. Because no matter what we do, we're not going to be able to save the sun. So let's drop the highlights down. Let's bump some of the shadows. And then let's also raise the exposure. There's a lot of blue in this photo. I would rather have a little bit more control over that. So I'm going to lower the saturation on the blues for now. Just keeps them a little bit quiet. If I bump it up, no, it hits the sky as well. So that's the biggest problem we're going to have to work around, is that the blue hits not only ground, but the sky as well. I'm going to go ahead and already hit the sky with a gradient just because I'm restless. We're going to dehaze it a bit, try to get some more detail back in the sky. Usually I would do that at the end, but it's nice to see kind of almost what the final product looks like. And the photo's kind of crooked, isn't it? Let's straighten that up. Yeah, it is. Straighten it up to about there. And there we go. So far, so good. Clean, simple. Let's bring some of the whites back. And now we're going to need to brush the car back in. And in doing that, I'm just going to use exposure, highlight, and some of the whites. Because I really like when the whites pop on the car. And then once I've brushed the whole car, I might play around with some definition. But let's see. Let's just brush basically the whole thing. The whole thing needs to get involved. I'm not going to brush the windows, though. I'm going to leave the windows where they are. Just going to do the body panels. It's a good idea when you're doing a long brush like this to split it up into multiple little brushes, just in case you mess up. Because if you mess up and you have to undo, just like that, I got a little bit of spillage. I'll fix that in a more productive manner later. But if you mess up on a really long stroke, then you've doomed yourself to a lot of repeat work. Let's just hold shift and then get that going. And let's do the whole side of the car. Once again, shift, there it is. A little bit of a slow computer today. How you guys doing? How's your Monday going? It is Monday, right? You never know these days. I'm working too much. Too much work. Looks pretty okay so far. We've forgotten a little bit of the hood, I think. So let's see if we can brush that back in. There's a little... No, I think it looks okay. All right. So now that we've... One way you can check is to hover over this, by the way. There must be a button for it. I don't know what that is yet. And you can see the parts that have been brushed and haven't. So down here it needs to be brushed again. There we go. That's just the auto mask working too hard. The auto mask thinks it's being smart. It wasn't. I'll do the rims as well. Why not? I was going to add a different separate one to the rims later. But let's try to keep it consistent. And then anytime we spill over into the rest of the scene, I'm just going to use the eraser later. Do the mirrors. Try to play around with the size of the brush, make it more accurate. Looking okay. Problem says Monday's going okay. Just really tired. Stayed up late photographing and I wanted to edit it before I went to bed. And I also woke up early. Man, what were you shooting yesterday? I want to hear. What kind of fun stuff did you have on your plate? Where was the adventure? Was it cars? Was it nature? Was it something cooler? Perhaps food? Sebastian says, photographed a couple of cars in Gretland Biel in Sarpsborg today. Among those, an AP2 S2000. Love the dash on those. Dude, the dash on those was like weirdly futuristic for the time, wasn't it? I really like the S2000 as well. It is underpowered, and I would rather have a Boxster from the same era. But there's just something cool about the S2000. There's something the Boxster just doesn't have. I don't know what it is. Oops, didn't mean to exit out of that. Okay, let's add some dehaze and get some punch back into the paint. Maybe a little bit of definition. A little bit more. Just try to pull the viewer's eyes towards the car. Problem, just some paper. Paper hearts. Paper hearts. 12 white ones and 1 blue and 1 red. Turned out pretty nice. I can tag you on Instagram so you can take a peek. Yes, dude. Of course I want to take a peek. That sounds artsy. That sounds really artsy. I'm curious to see what that looks like. Were you shooting at, like, what kind of lens? Describe the shot. Let me see the shot. It's always hard when the music cuts out and you run out of things to say. I'm just going to brush out the windows. I want the windows to be dark here. I want contrast in the car. The car is cool because it's silver with black details, so I'm going to play on that. Andreas, Sawtooth or Wolf? This has taken up way more of my day than I expected it would. I spent so long trying to figure out whether or not I could put Sawtooth or Wolf rims on our Defender, or whether or not 235s or 265s would fit. And it turns out, if anybody has a Defender, please give me some tips, because I'm useless at this. I'm starting from zero and I need to learn. But 235 BF Goodrich ATs rub against the car, is that, I find that so hard to believe. I don't want that to be true because I want some big ass tires on the car. I want it to be cool. Let's erase some of this overflow here. I don't want any skinnies. I mean, it's not Africa. We're not going safaring. We don't need skinnies. It doesn't need to take us to the bottom of the sand to get grip. We need balloons. We need to float. I don't know what over, but we need it. Need it to feel dangerous in the rain. I just noticed now the focus is kind of off in the photo. Whatever. Don't let that get in the way. So I think I'm okay with this. Could use a bit more punch. Not too much. Maybe some contrast just to get some emphasis on how... see, now I'm losing a lot of detail in the highlights here. Let's take that back. Let's stick with this. Let's be happy with what we got. And let's focus specifically on the wheels. The wheels are filthy. I didn't bother to clean the car. I wasn't in the mood. It was early in the morning. I just wanted to get it done. So the car is just going to have to be filthy. So I'm just going to brush. There we go. Little brush goes a long way. God, it's not the screen that's lagging, by the way, or the stream. It's my computer. My computer has had quite a few workouts. I just updated the operating system. Maybe that's killing me. Look at this, beach ball of death. We're just brushing one wheel. Gross. Nasty. I need to step it up. The goal, by the way, for the stream and the YouTube channel, I'll let you guys in on the secret. The goal is, by the end of the year, to have a permanent office space just for YouTube activities. Just to do some really cool YouTube stuff. And then have like a really good desktop Mac, set up a good lighting setup, and have a permanent camera just for this kind of stuff. And a podcast studio. Then me and Mats, my filmer, the man, the myth, the legend himself, we can hang out in silence and not have to kick my girlfriend out every time I want to stream something or record a podcast. This is taking forever, this brushing. Sorry, guys. It's my computer. Problem says, I used a 120 by 60 light diffuser and put the paper hearts on top. It's like a paper folded on top of itself. So it makes the heart shape. So it's like a heart shape too. Whoa, this sounds creative. And I took the picture on an angle with a flash under elevated paper hearts, so it looks like the light comes from the inside of the hearts. This is creative, dude. I'm excited to see these photos. This sounds awesome. This is cool. This is the stuff that, like, if you want to get good at photography and you want to learn to play with light, you just do this kind of stuff in your spare time. You'll get so many awesome ideas, and then you'll be able to translate those ideas to your commercial work. And then, like, those ideas will turn into really, like, you'll learn how light works through certain materials. So, for example, through window shields on a car, stuff like that, or like backlighting really complicated paint, how the light travels within metallic paint. You learn a lot of really useful tips just by playing around. One thing I always recommend is to get some model cars and shoot them in your living room. Just play around. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time brushing this because apparently it's going to kill my computer. Battery life seems okay. We're not going to have a repeat of the cyberphoto disaster. By the way, speaking of the cyberphoto disaster, I am getting redemption tomorrow. I am live streaming on Cyberphoto's website at Cyberphoto's YouTube page, by the way, not website, their YouTube page at 3 o'clock tomorrow. So you can check that out during work, during whatever you're doing. Just come hang out. Have a good time. So I'm not going to do too much more. I'm going to give some direction to the light, make it warmer. Let's see. Not too much, just a little bit. Brighten it up. And then try to let it hit the softbox a bit. Maybe the car, just to add some warmth to the photo. Just a little bit. Do you guys have any car projects going on? We always talk about photography. We never get to talk enough about cars. Sebastian, I want to hear some more about what you were shooting, man. What kind of car? How often do you shoot cars? What's your thing? See, I think that's cool. It's not too much, but it's a little bit. It brightens up the photo, makes it more Instagram friendly. Now we can go back and play with this gradient that we put in before. Try to blue it up and see what happens. Nah. What if we just made it warm? This reminds me of like the earlier Instagram days when people just really warm skies and stuff and make the whole photo almost like monotone, monotonous. It's kind of goofy, but let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get goofy. Who's with me? There we go. So from here, at the risk of killing my computer, and I know I will, I should just open Photoshop immediately. Before the stream, I should just have it open. I'm going to hit Command E, and that's going to open this photo in Photoshop. Just for a second, I'm going to hang out. Let's hang out. Let's go full screen. Let's go full screen real quick while Photoshop is opening. That's going to take a second. And let's talk about plans for the YouTube channel. First of all, if you guys haven't subscribed, do it. Every bit helps. The subscribers are really what counts. And I'm so close to 200. So come on, just give me over 200. And then let's blow up from there. 200, 200,000 in a week. That's my goal. That's where we're going. That's where we're going. So there you go. Now you know. Let's go back. Here we go. And Photoshop, where are you at? Oh, there it is. We did it. We did it. I'm proud of us. I'm proud of us. All right. So now that we're here in Photoshop, let's warm up the photo even more. This way, in Photoshop, when we warm up the photo using soft light blends, you get a lot richer of warmth to the photo. It's a little bit dark, so let's paint the whole thing. Soft light blended. Look at that. Before, after. Much warmer, much richer. I think a little bit prettier. I like it. You can also do this with like gradients from the top and bottom. So if you use a blue, you can go from the bottom as well. Just do a straight gradient all the way up. Then you can play from it once you start to figure everything out. You can also get rid of the warm gradient while you're at it, so you don't have them fighting against each other. And then you just sort of balance it out. Play with it. So you get a lot of cold blue colors in the shadows. You got a lot of warm colors in the sky. Look at that. So before the blue, after the blue, before the orange, after the orange. The one thing I don't like too much about the blue is that, oh, get out of here, Doc. Get out of here. The one thing I don't like is that it hits the car so much. So at the risk of killing my computer, let's get this brush back out. Let's go 100% brush and just see what happens. Oops, I forgot I had it on that setting. Let's go back to soft and let's turn the smoothness down to 10. Just something we can manage. Let's just brush out the whole thing. Why not? Worst comes to worst, we just brush it back in. Or hit undo a million times. There we go. Problem says, sorry, did I miss something important? My mother called me. Nah, man, we're just hanging. We're just hanging out. I think I might have brushed too much out. So let's maybe brush back in the rims a bit. I think they should blend in a bit more with the rest of the photo. Sebastian says, got a 924 Carrera GT project that is getting a full restoration, disassembling suspension at the moment. It is getting a 2.7 bi-turbo from a 2001 Audi Allroad. What? What? So did you get a standard 924 and then you're just adding all the body panels, the hood scoop, and widening it and playing with the engine? That thing's going to be fun. Dude, I'm so jealous. The 924 CGT is such a cool car. That's going to look so cool when you get that on the road. Let me know. I want to shoot it, man. I want to shoot it. I want to team up. Get out of here, Doc. Nobody invited you. I want to shoot that thing. That sounds like a blast. You doing this from your garage? Where's the workshop at? Is it running yet? How far are you along in the process? I want to know everything, man. Tell me everything about this build. Because that's badass. How did you get the idea? I'm just going to haze out some of the background to pull more focus on the car. And then I'm going to brush out the car so it gets a bit sharper. Opacity is at 51. We'll leave it there. We'll just leave it there. Where'd you get an Audi Allroad engine? Did you go to a scrapyard? I don't know where somebody would go to find a leftover engine. Also, how'd you get the idea of an Audi? Have people done that before? Like, is the 2.7 liter from the Allroad like a clutch engine? Is that thing good? Because Allroads don't really have a good reputation. I don't know if it was ever the engine that was the problem with them, though. I think we're in a pretty good spot here. One thing I could do, and maybe I will just to get picky, oops, is first of all, to move the flare underneath. There you go. And then second of all, to paint the sun back in so it's not just pure white. Maybe a little bit bigger. And then we take down the opacity here. There we go. Now we don't have a blown out sun. It's not much. It's just enough. Let's hit Command S and save it back into Lightroom. Problem says, oh yeah, I don't use Photoshop or Lightroom. I don't think my software has all the features that Lightroom has, but I'm considering to switch in the future. I highly recommend Photoshop and Lightroom. Lightroom is unstoppable. It is good. It organizes all your files very well. I think it's a very pretty place to work. I think it's fantastic. Sebastian, before I read the first message you sent, I just read the words blew up. And I am very concerned. I am extremely concerned for your car. It says, it is a 924 naturally aspirated that has been widened, has turbo brakes, and will get a 15-inch wide as hell wheels. Ooh. Working out of my mom's farm, I have an all-road just sitting after the third transmission I have and it blew up. Oh my God. Yeah, that's probably a better use of that engine then. I didn't realize the transmission was so rough. Ran out of, oh, so we reached the limit of YouTube comments. That's interesting. It just blew up? That's fucking crazy. That's wild. I'm sorry to hear that, first and foremost. Second, seems like it went to a better use. You know what? Let's just leave it there. Let's just leave the whole thing. Maybe add a bit of a vignette. How did you know the all-road engine would fit? Like, what kind of work do you have to do to it to get it to fit better? And how much horsepower are you going to get out of that? I'm very curious about this car, Sebastian. Problem, I never used Lightroom, but I used to use Photoshop when I was a student because Adobe Creative was hella cheap as a student. Yeah, it was. I wish they continued that. That would be nice because I'm paying far too much at the moment. What program do you use now? So here's the before, and without doing too much, but still pretty dramatic difference, here's the after. Pretty fun. Fun photo, creative, not supposed to be amazing, not supposed to be perfect, just kind of high-speed editing, good times. And let's copy and paste that editing to the vertical version where there's just this little detail of a headlight. Let's play with it. If you guys are wondering why I have this kind of crazy light pattern, it's because I have water in my 50 millimeter and it will never leave. So now you know. So whenever I point it directly at the sun, I get some crazy light. It gets really fun, really goofy. Sebastian, the all-roads are stupid nice cars when they work. But the air suspension, diesel 2.5 engine, and transmission are nice obstacles. Okay. Yeah, I can't imagine the air suspension back then was that amazing. I don't know. For some reason, I never liked the all-road. I never thought it was a good car. I never drove it, to be fair. So I have no idea what I'm talking about. It'd be fun to try one. Do you think they'll continue that? Do you think the all-road will be a thing for the electric versions? Like, will the A6, the new A6 electric, be coming in all-road? Problem says, now I use Affinity, and it's great. The in-painting tool is way better in Affinity than the Photoshop, but however, raw development kind of sucks. Really? Why do I have a hard time believing that, man? I'm such a Photoshop fanboy. Ooh, I didn't realize I didn't realize I accidentally copied and pasted all the local adjustments. Yeah, there we go. Let's get rid of those. There we go. That makes more sense. I was confused as to why the photo was so splotchy. Let's there we go. Fix that for next time. So here we have a lot of blue in the sky still. Whenever I can keep a blue sky, I kind of want to. Aside from the last photo we just edited. So let's play around with that. Let's just create like a richer blue. Oops. Create like a richer blue. There we go. Dehaze is really good for that. Very good for that. Sebastian says Taycan CT is a bit higher than the normal Taycan though. Isn't it sort of like an all-road to a regular A6? Yes, the Cross Turismo is slightly taller. I don't remember how much exactly, and I know the Porsche Center Oscar Bottom guys are going to be disappointed in me for not remembering after they put so much effort into explaining it to me. But I'm an idiot, so that's how that goes. It'd be nice if Audi continued that tradition, but I think they're going to end up competing too much in the electric market with Porsche in that regard. And since they are both under the same roof, I'm curious how that dynamic's going to work. Like first come, first serve. I already know that the e-tron GT got beat out by the Taycan. So I know Porsche is getting a lot of preference in that. Maybe the everyday stuff is going to go to Audi. Robin says, I have an A6 2.5 Quattro 2001. It's not an all-road, but it's a hella nice car to drive. But it has some issues. I am currently repairing it after letting it sit still for 6 years. Why'd you let it sit still for 6 years, man? You got to drive it. Drive it if you got it. That's a great car. That A6 is a great car. It's a monster. You got to use it. I'm not going to do too much more of this photo. I kind of like it. I don't want to overcomplicate it. I think it's cool. I think it's cool, clean, and simple. Sebastian, 2.7 biturbo had 250 horsepower originally, and I think that is enough in the 1,050 kilogram chassis of the 924. Yeah, probably. But it could always be more. Who would ever let enough get in the way of more? Look at this one. This one's already edited. It's already black and white and cool. Instead of playing with it, I'm just going to leave it. Let's see what it looked like in color though. If I hit V, change it to color at some point in our lives. Yeah, 250 horsepower is plenty in that car. It'll be really fun. I know at one point you're going to beg for more, but how much horsepower did the original 924 CGT have? 924 CGT horsepower. Let's check. What? It had 104. No, that's wrong. No, it had 207. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, okay, so you're pushing 40 over what it had originally. That's going to be a fun car. Damn, it's going to be fun. Because I was a student and I got terrible mileage on the highway when I was driving between Hamar and Kongsberg. So I bought an MB C200 compressor. Oh, MB, Mercedes-Benz C200 compressor. Okay. You are forgiven. That's a fun car. Why did you sell the A6? Why would you need a C200 and an A6? Why not, actually? You know what? I'm not going to ask why you have more cars. I don't mean that. Sorry I even asked. I'm still trying to get this photo to go into, oh, you know what? Maybe it was saved from Photoshop. Maybe this isn't a RAW file, and that's why it's not in color. Oh, oops. Well, there you go. That's that photo done. Let's play with this one. It's been a long time since I've looked or edited this one. The original version, I did this. Brock 1981 says, "Hey Kyle, hey Brock, I'm here for you. Thank you for dropping by the chat. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being active. Once again, I am answering everything in the chat. So if you're not here live, because this is going up afterwards, come hang out next time, Monday at 7 o'clock. But Brock is here. Brock is here and he's hanging out. Brock, how was your day? I'm going to edit this version of the photo instead. So I'm going to take this light and I'm going to combine it with, you know what? Let's combine both of them. Let's do the front end on this and let's do the tail end on this. Ooh, this is going to be tough. This is a tough decision because I think this is already kind of edited. Whatever, let's do this. Actually, you want to, let's do a one photo edit. It's been a long time. We're not going to have any lights. Do I have any headlights in this? It's been a long time. I just did a couple one photo edits. But let's not combine them. Let's just do one photo. Brock says, just saw your video about the Polestar 2 and stuck around. Hey, Brock, dude, stoked to hear that. I'm stoked you're here. And if you want to stick around even more, you can hit the subscribe button. It says, should get my Polestar 2 in like 10 to 14 days. Yes, dude. Good for you. That's sick. Tell me about the spec. What did you get? What color? Was it moon? Was it midnight? Was it thunder, magnesium, or snow, or void? That is right. I am an authority in Polestars. Problem says, because I'm a moron, I currently drive a Fiat Punto and I still have my A6, my rusty old Mercedes, in a car I really wish I could afford to restore an Alfa Romeo. Dude, sell the A6, sell the Fiat, restore the Alfa. Just go for it, man. Full send. Full send. You'll get enough money for that A6. You'll be able to restore that Alfa, depending on how bad it is. Let's start off by doing profile correction. I'm just chatting about cars the whole time. I think that's fun. Let's get rid of some of the blues. I'm going to add those back in later. Don't worry. Brock says thunder. Thunder is the color, man. That's the best color. I think thunder and midnight are the best colors on Polestar. I think you got a really, really good car. Have you had one before, or is this your first one? And have you driven one before? I guess you have. You must have. Nobody just buys a car anymore without having driven it anymore. I say that like that used to happen. Polestar 2 is a badass car. Actually, I'm going to have the Polestar 1 this weekend. I'm really curious to try that, to see what kind of crossover there is between the two cars. I'm going to save some of the highlights in the top just because I want to pull focus straight towards the car. Yes, that's looking a little bit better. A little bit easier on the eyes. Let's take some of the shoulders and the highlights on the car and just bump them up a bit. And for this, I'm not going to go too crazy. I'm just going to click once here. And then since the car has a straight shoulder, hold shift, click again over there. Now we get a lot of highlights out of that. Let's just paint the whole car like that. Let's get a little bit crazy. You know what? We don't get crazy enough here. Let's get a little crazy. Problem says, not the condition the A6 is in right now. I want to repair and get it approved and use it in the winter and sell it after winter. Sell the Fiat. Man, you got a lot of plans. Too many plans are tough to follow up on. But I wish you the best, and I'm excited to see how that works out. I'm excited to see that Alfa Romeo going. Brock says, normal version, didn't like the other version. I got blown away by it, and yes, I drove it in Düsseldorf near my home place. Which did you get with or without the performance package? This is the important question. Not that one is better than the other, but I definitely prefer one over the other. And I think it's pretty obvious which one I prefer. But the one without the performance package is way more comfortable than the one with. The Öhlins suspension are so dramatic from the moment you get it on that car. It's insane. So the basic one is... Basic one? Is that what you call it? I don't know what they call the different specs. But it's so much more comfortable. Problem says, oh yeah, you asked earlier about the lens. I use an A7 II, and I don't have many lenses, so I use my Sigma 70mm macro arts. Dude, that's a badass lens, though. I don't have a macro. I kind of want one. I think it'd be fun. Shooting car details with a macro, shooting like rims and stuff. I bet you get some really cool stuff. No performance, just the normal one. My wife was against when we drove the performance one. Yeah, the performance one is uncomfortable. It's a tough sell, especially if you have another person who's going to be sharing the car with you. A very tough sell. So I think you made a good decision. It's a comfortable car. The interior is, no matter which one you got, the leather one is nice. The vegan leather one is super nice. I think it's a very good car. Actually, fun fact, I had ordered one. Like I was scheduled to get one. But it just took too long to deliver. And right before they're about to deliver it, Tesla lowered the price of the Model 3 Performance. So I had to. Kills me, but I had to. And I'm sure Polestar still hates me to this day for it. Problem says you do. You can get some very sick pictures with a macro, but my Punto doesn't have any interesting details. That's wrong, man. Every car has interesting details. You are wrong. Let's get some more brightness in the whites. I want to try dehazing the photo even more. There's a lot of haze, but nah, if I do it too much, it just becomes super heavy. So let's leave it there. And then let's start to, well, I'm going to brighten it up a little bit. Just because I know it's going to get darker in the next steps when I take it to Photoshop. So now let's go into Photoshop and let's play. Let's play with the colors. Should probably keep some of the yellow in the brakes. Problem says, I am hoping to practice some car photography on my friend's Nissan 200 SX S14. That's a cool car. That's a cool car. I'm stoked to see those photos. Okay, there might be a few. I might do it when I'm going to prepare to sell it. When are you going to sell it? There's no better time like the present. I'm working on building up the strength. I'm going to go with midnight green, by the way. Get a little bit of green in this photo. I'm working on building up the strength and the courage to sell my Defender. I don't think I need to hang on. If I hang on to that any longer, I'm never going to sell it. I love that car too much. I think it's so good. It's such a cool car to drive around. I'm almost done with the build. We have just the summer tires and summer wheels to put on. We need to order them first and foremost. And then I think it's ready to go. This is a dark photo. It's pretty moody. I might try to fix that in Lightroom when I save it back. For now, let's just play around. Let's do some goofy things. Let's take midnight green, put it over. Oops, I thought I was in a different mode. Put it over here. Oops. Uh-oh. Oh my gosh. What is happening to me? No? I thought I was pressing the right. Yeah, okay. I was pressing the right button. It just was going crazy. Let's put that over there. Let's add some color to this light. Oops. If we do screen, it brightens it up and just sort of creates this fade. I might try to brush out the car and leave it on screen. Let's try soft light. Soft light just sort of brings the brightness back down a bit. You know what? I might do soft light and then brush that out off the car. Oh, messages. Fiat. Hopefully this summer. Yes. Yeah, okay. I don't like the Model 3. The interior is ugly. Brock, how dare you, man? How dare you? I just spent the last 15 minutes complimenting your car and you come at me. You come at me so hard. Oh, it hurts. It hurts. But guess what? If we pulled up next to each other at a stoplight, I would smoke you. That's what you get. No, man, that Polestar is a badass car. That's going to be so nice. And I get what you mean by the ugly interior. It is simple. It is simple. And I kind of like it simple. I've gotten used to it. I think it's cool. It's not distracting. The seats are really comfortable. They could use a little bit more sportiness, but they're really comfortable. And I like it. Sebastian says, some pickups have jellyfish launchers, so that Punto has to have some interesting details. What in the fuck is a jellyfish launcher? I'm curious about that. Problem, I'm tired of it. Like, I only fill the tank every 3rd week. It's great for my wallet, but man, I get stuck all the time in the winter. The AC barely cools and it never gets warm in the winter. Yeah, I know that pain. I know that pain. I know it all too well. You know what? I'm not going to do much more to this. One thing I could do, and maybe I'll try, is just to add... Maybe we can try to add some headlight beams. So I know this has the 4 headlights that Porsches normally have. Let's do that. Let's get a little creative. So let's go with white. Let's go with, yeah, let's stick with this. I'll just push it out to here. Deselect. Hello. I'm being spied on currently. And then there's one more, I think right around here. If I was smart and if I had time, I would spend some time kind of looking it up and figuring out exactly where the sources of the lights are. And I am smart, and I do have a photo right here that tells me exactly that. So let's do it. One there. That was pretty much correct. And one down here, which is close. That was close. Okay, so let's go into gradient. Let's add one here. And then we turn this to screen. Let's add a filter. Let's go Gaussian blur, just so we don't have that sharp edge at the back. Way too much. Let's start here. This, let's push it underneath. And then let's let it be very small. And then we'll get rid of the ends. And it's not much, but it looks a bit like the lights are on. We can also add, so you can do that in large scale as well. I'll do that really quick. We do the lasso tool. Oops, I did it backwards. Okay. Straight out, go down a bit, back here, and we link back around, and then gradient, maybe even more. Deselect, filter, let's put the Gaussian blur back on. This time we're gonna do a bit more, just because we want it to be soft and we want it to make sense. And then you can play with this as much as you want, just fine tune it. I'm going to create a little bit more of a direction for it. Just like so. That's not quite there. There we go. That's a bit better. I'm going to bump this up a bit. And then let's get rid of some of the... It'd probably be smarter to do this with a brush. Where is my brush? What am I... Oops. There we go. Found the brush again. That's what's up. I will answer you guys in 1 second, I promise. Let's push this back down below. All the way through here. And then we can also desaturate it quite a bit. I think it goes too far, so let's push it back in by masking it out. And then it might also be a bit too wide. Let's leave it there. So there we go. Now we got a little bit of headlights. The tail lights should be on as well. Brock is apologizing. The tail light is on this one, so let's steal that. Or this one, maybe. Let's steal that. So Command E. We'll open this one in Photoshop. And then we'll steal it. Oh, whoa. Did you see that? So, Sebastian says, the button for lights on the pickup plane looks strangely like a jellyfish launcher. I never, oh my God. So silly. I love it. I'm a big, that's really goofy. Problem says, did you shoot this with the A1 too? No, I did not have the A1 when I shot this. I still don't have an A1. The A1 I was using for the Cayman was, I was just borrowing that basically to test it out. But I have ordered one and it should be here soon. I'm really excited. The moment I get it, I'm going to make a ton of videos with it. I promise you, I'm going to be very productive with that camera. Sebastian, yeah, the first thing that pops up is the joke. I love it. The jellyfish launcher. Brock says, no offense, it's just my opinion. If the Model 3 is fine for you, all good. No, I'm not offended, Brock. Not offended at all. I love that car. It's been very good to me. I'm actually going to ceramic coat it this week. Put on the summer wheels. Let's line this up. Let's highlight this and this at the same time. Let's go to auto align and see if Photoshop can figure this out. What are the chances? Oh, it's working. How well did it do? It's pretty close. It's pretty close. All we really need is this section here. So let's inverse select and then delete it. Oops. I accidentally did it on both. I didn't mean to. There we go. Delete just the one. And then let's deselect and go in and line this up ourselves. I'm going to lower the opacity. And then we'll just push it around until it lines up. That's just about right. Doesn't need to be perfect because we're just going to light and blend it. But why not try to get close to perfect? That's pretty good. So let's light and blend. So that gets rid of all the dark spots. Lets the light from the bottom one come through. And since the taillights on the bottom one were already dark, it's pretty much perfect. So there we go. Now we got taillights in the photo too. How about that? Now this I'll fix later. I'll fix it in Lightroom. Speaking of Lightroom, let's save it and go back into Lightroom. So, Problem says, so what is your first impression of the A1? I actually made a video about this, and I edited some photos from it. The problem I had with the... Oh my God, sorry. Tough stuff. The problem I had with the A1 is that Lightroom wasn't up to date at the time. So I could only use TIFF versions of the files that I was shooting. I could never use the RAWs. But the way the A1 shot and held and felt is just phenomenal. No other camera's even close. I haven't felt anything like that. It's extremely fast, extremely competent, and the files are beautiful. They're massive. I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. I can't wait to get mine. It's going to be sick. I'm going to go back to 2x3 because I want this to be a normal photo. Let's center it and cut out all that nasty stuff. Center's right about there, maybe a little bit less. There we go. And what do you currently use? I've probably seen it in video, but I forgot for sure. I use currently the A7R3. I like it. I think it's cool. It's getting a little bit old now, so I'm getting a bit over it. But the sensor is 42 megapixels, which is fine for me. I don't need any more than that. I'm just going to add some color back into these brakes, by the way. I don't really need it for car photography. I don't need it to be faster than that either. But I shoot a lot of skiing. I shoot a lot of adventure. I shoot a lot of everything. So I kind of want a camera that does everything. And there's really only one camera out there right now that does. And that is the A1. So Sony has forced my hand by making a perfect camera. The Sony A1. It is flawless. Sebastian says, how do you compare Model S to 3? I am debating switching to the 3, but a Taycan is also haunting me in my sleep. Okay, so if you want a car that you can use, the Model 3 is probably far more useful than the Taycan. I hate to say it. The Taycan Cross Turismo is definitely the greatest and best and my favorite EV at the moment, but we all know that's going to be expensive and it's going to take a while for that to release. Especially for everybody who's already pre-ordered it to get theirs. I think the Cross Turismo is going to be a fantastic car. I think it's phenomenal. It starts at 4-wheel drive. There is no rear-wheel drive version. I don't think there will be. It is a usable height. It is, I mean, it's a Porsche. It's well built. It's perfect. But if you want, like, the reason I got the Model 3 is so I'd have extra room in the budget to get fun cars alongside it, and to work on cars. And that, for me, has been so worth the money. The Model 3 performance is extremely fast. It'll beat over half the Taycans out there, to be fair, in a straight line race. I don't know about in turns, but you're going to take your Model 3 to the track. 0 to 60 is like 3.3 seconds or something ridiculous. It's too fast. You don't need anything more than that. So for fast and fun, it has track mode. So when it snows, you can go sideways. I'd say the Model 3 performance is the most usable electric car you can get right now. I think it's phenomenal as a daily. I really, really like the car. And the charging system for Tesla is, I mean, you get a Tesla because you can charge it anywhere. There's always 30 chargers. It's always open, and they charge at 250. So getting anything else, I think, would be shooting yourself in the foot this early on in the game. Problem says, does A7R3 have eye autofocus because A7 II does not? And that's really the only gripe I have with it. Otherwise, I think it's pretty great. After all, I only paid $5,000. You only paid $5,000? Shit, you got it for a good price. That's impressive. It does have eye autofocus, yes, and I do use it a lot. If you're ever shooting portraits, it just takes a lot of the efforts out of having to get it perfect. It's pretty smart. It's really smart. And now it does animals, it does birds. Yeah, it's pretty phenomenal. Tom, thank you for jumping in. Tom Arnold Hamra, the man, the myth, the legend, is here. He is here. If I had some sort of reward for the everyday club, you'd be a part of it. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, so there's the photo. I'm going to show you the before really quick. Here's the before. There's the before. And after all the editing, here is the after. There we go. Played around quite a lot. We made the colors a little bit more fun, gave it a little bit more pop. If I had more time, I'd clean up the ground. It's a little bit messy. We added some taillights. We added some headlights, just a little bit, so you got an idea of direction from the lights, just so it makes a bit of sense. And let's go back over them. Here's the first photo. Made it super colorful, super playful, super poppy and fun. Second photo, also just more pop, more play. Here is the before version. Here's the after. Didn't do too much, just made it playful. Playful and fun. And here are the photos from yesterday's video. Once again, if you haven't seen yesterday's video, pretty badass. It's good stuff. Go see it. It'll show you how I got this photo. It'll show you how I got this photo here, which I think is pretty cool. It's actually the homepage on my website right now. I love this photo. I just love the vibe. I love the story. I love the idea of leaving work on a Friday and going up to the cabin, or this is in Norderfield, and just hanging out for the weekend. You arrive late, so the stars are already out. It's dinner time. So you're just mobbing, trying to get there in time. I think that's dope. I like that story. And if you want to see how I shot that video and how I edit, or how I shot that photo and how I edited, you can go check out yesterday's video. And since I have said that, it is now time for Big Face Kyle, full screen, full zoom. No, full zoom is too much. Those are all the photos. Let's go through some of the comments that are left over. Yeah, the guy I bought it from in Oslo had a Hasselblad and just wanted to get rid of the Sony a7 II. Hasselblad user. So pretentious. So pretentious. Sony overall. I am a Sony ambassador, by the way. Sony pays me to say these things, but I fully believe them. Ooh, it smells like someone's cooking. Fantastic. It's good because I'm hungry. Problem says, but yeah, if you ever going to sell your camera body, when you get the new one, hit me up. If the timing is right, I might have money for it. Oh man, I've never sold a camera. I always keep all my cameras. I don't know why. It's stupid. I can make money for it. It's a good camera. It's a great camera. It's still relevant. I like it. I think it's a monster. Maybe I will sell this one. You know what? Maybe I will. We'll see. We will see. And on that note, I think that is going to be it. We are coming up on an hour, and that is as far as I want to take you guys with me. So I will drop you off here and go on with my day, eat some dinner. Thank you very much for dropping by. If you're not subscribing, please subscribe. I'm so close to 200. We can do it. 200. What a milestone. But yeah, we're getting this. Problem says, by the way, he said that the only reason he had the A7 II was for low lights. Yeah. Yeah, Hasselblads are useless in that. Problem, see ya. By the way, tagged you on the photo on Insta. I will go check it out immediately. Thank you guys very much. Thank you for hanging. I will see you next time. Podcast coming up on Thursday, by the way. It's going to be sick. This one's about Porsches. Going to be sick. See you guys. Peace.